when AD first got traded to the Dallas Mavericks, I was one of the few people who came out here and basically said, in the short run, the Dallas Mavericks have won this trade, and in the long run, the Los Angeles Lakers will win, because obviously AD's probably got like 5 more years in his legs, whereas Luka Doncic has at least 10 more. Now, the fun fact about that was a lot of people came out and said, nah, Luka's the better player, look at this, look at that. But I always said it's about the team more than it's about the player. But anyway, for those of you that are new to this channel, what to do, welcome. My name is Alvin Mike. On here, I mainly speak about sports, the main one being basketball, because yeah, I am somewhat of a basketball fan myself. And because of that, I love to have a lot of opinions. My one that everyone seemed to challenge, the Dallas Mavericks would be a better team without Luka Doncic. Now, the reason I said this before was it was based off the fact that the Mavericks, in my personal opinion, have a highly potent offense. And that's what Luka's meant to bring. But all the general players on the team have a highly potent offense, with the main issue being that whenever Luka was on the floor, he was too ball dominant and he wasn't great at being a floor general. He was a lot closer to being Steph than he was CP3. And when I say that, I mean as in he's the type of guy to get you buckets, but he's not the type of guy that can get an offense going whilst not having the ball in his hands, which Steph can do sometimes, but obviously it's not in the way of basically being a floor general. Now, last night in Anthony Davis and Max Christie's debut, we saw them go up against the Houston Rockets, where we saw the Dallas Mavericks beat the Rockets 116-105. It did start off on a high, but ended on a low due to the fact that Anthony Davis did go down with an injury after 31 minutes of play. However, I will say in those 31 minutes, we managed to see some amazing offense and defense. AD managed to finish the game with 31 minutes, 26 points on 10 of 18 shooting from the field, 2 of 2 from 3, 4 of 6 from the free throw line, 16 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 blocks, which is a highly impressive stat line for anyone to have, let alone a guy who gets injured midway through the game. And the second big key part to me saying that the Mavericks won this this trade in the short term, is Max Christie, a guy who people saw going in this trade as just, oh, that's another role player who might do something but won't be as productive as you'd expect. In 33 minutes of play, managed to accumulate 23 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, whilst obviously having 1 turnover, shooting 5 of 10 from the field, specifically 4 of 5 from 3, and 9 of 10 from the free throw line. Now, if you look at that production alone, that is 48 points, 18 rebounds, 9 assists, 4 blocks, contributed by 2 players traded for Luka Doncic. Now, I don't know what you think, but Luka Doncic is not putting up a stat line like that by himself, which is why, again, in the short run, the Mavericks have won this trade. But if you need any other perfect reason as to why the Mavericks won this trade, alongside those two, there were at least 4 other players within double digits, being Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, Najee Marshall, and Spencer Dinwiddie. PJ Washington found himself in a little bit of a stunt when it came to shooting wise, because he did go 1 of 4 from the field. But the biggest thing about it is this trade has allowed this offense, as you'd expect, to flow in a much better capacity. Now, because of this trade, we are noticing that we're seeing a lot more of ball movement when it comes to how the Mavericks are playing. Playstyle wise, it's not a lot of just one person brings up the ball and basically does everything they want to. It's more a thing of a team effort, whereby we see a lot of either AD brings up the ball, Kyrie, sometimes it can be Spencer Dinwiddie, Max Christie, or even PJ Washington, which again is only happens if Luka Doncic leaves. Now, I know it sounds like I'm just bagging on Luka, but it's mainly because he works on a team whereby he's the superstar and everyone else around him. He works on a LeBron type team where there's a lot of spot up shooters who are basically prepared to catch the ball. Or it's the type of thing whereby if there's another superstar, he's willing to really diminish his play style and become so much of a Robin that he's not really the guy we're used to seeing. And that's what we're noticing here, because yeah, the Mavericks lit up the Rockets in the opening quarter. They firstly lit them up for approximately 33 points against 20, and then obviously as the quarters went down, they started to get beaten, with the Mavericks only losing the third quarter. Shooting wise as a team, they managed to go 12 of 23 from the 3-point line, while shooting 39 of 83 from the field. And then of course on the free throw line, they shot 26 of 34, which is highly impressive. And then on the other end, limiting the Houston Rockets, which is a high-powered offense as well, to 105 points is a perfect example of why this trade made sense. As Nico Harris said, even though he seemed a bit crazy, you need defense to win championships. And low-key, even though the Mavericks did give up 105 points, they did this whilst limiting the Rockets to shooting 29% from the 3-point line, 40% from the field, and 77% from the free throw line, which for those of you who don't get the instance, majority of teams on average will shoot about 35 to 40% from the 3-point line, dang near 45 to 50 from the field. So what the Mavericks pulled off last night is highly impressive. And then, of course, when it came to the rebounding side of things, we saw the Rockets claim 48 rebounds, 29 of them being defensive and 19 being offensive, versus the Mavericks 43, which obviously is a little bit of a point where you might want to see some improvement. But with 22 assists versus the 21 of the Rockets, what I'm saying is we're seeing a much more versatile version of the Dallas Mavericks. Once they start to get it going in regards of, you're not expecting someone like PJ Washington to shoot 1 of 4 from the field ever again. You're not expecting Kyrie to go 4 for 15 in another situation. But once they start to get things flowing again, we will see more. Now, as I've always said, the Mavericks have won this trade in the short run. I was really happy to see AD get out there and really showcase that he's still one of the top players in the league. I'm happy to see that the offense is moving the way it should be. Now, in somewhere like L.A., Luka will really fit in due to the fact that, plain and simple, there's not a lot of guys on that team who need the ball in their hands to get busy. They usually just get busy off catching a pass or cutting back doors. The only 3 people I can think of are Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves being the ones who need the ball in their hands to somewhat get busy. But hey, it is what it is. Shout out to AD and the Dallas Mavericks. Hopefully this injury is as light as they're saying, because I'd really love to see him in another situation. All I'm saying is, short run wise, I do see these guys possibly they will make it to the Western Conference semis. There's a really good chance they might make it to the Western Conference Finals. But yeah, anyway, it's been your boy Alvin Mike. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'm trying to keep them short and concise. Next one we'll be doing is probably on Jimmy Butler, because yeah, he's officially out of Miami and into GS Golden State, where we managed to see him win his first game in a comeback that was quite disgusting against the Bulls. But hey, I'll discuss that in the next video. I'll see you in a bit. Deuces.